so now let's talk about Rebel Wilson. Let's talk about Rebel Wilson.
Why doesn't somebody kill her?
We don't know. No.
Leave fat Amy alone.
I was trying to find a segue, folks. I don't mean that.
The segues are the hardest part.
Brett just throws it at me, and I forget that we're doing segue.
Yep. It's just like, well, you can't just go like, and now,
Right.
It's
true.
it's an art form that I will that will take me many years to master. But
God, her diet's terrible.
what do you mean?
Now?
Just read
the
diet
yeah,
plan that
yeah.
she did.
Okay.
I'll tell you guys later
Okay,
when
all
he
right.
finishes reading it.
In one of our episodes, we talked about Adele.
Yes.
And I love this topic because this is people taking ownership of their actions and their health, and
Yes.
I love that. And I love the fact that they talk about personal responsibility in these issues, and it's also just cool to see somebody change their life in a lot of ways. So but when we were talking about Adele, we were talking about the fan base and the pushback she got from her own fans. This is on the topic of Hollywood and pushback on a character, a woman who lost a good amount of weight and how it would affect her career. So it's a pretty different perspective on the matter. And this is from People, and this says, Rebel Wilson says her team thought that her weight loss would affect her career as, quote, fat funny girl, or funny fat girl. So, like, if that's not the most cynical thing you've ever heard, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that extremely cynical to, like, that's your resume? Like, on your, like, list of, like, skill sets, it's like, can play funny fat girl.
Well, her character literally on Pitch Perfect was Fat Amy.
That was literally her character.
Her character's name, and in the credits you'll see it. It says Fat Amy, and I love that character.
But these people are parasites. I mean, they're essentially satanic people because they think in terms of marketing.
Yeah,
they think in
that's
terms
true.
of branding. So,
Exactly.
But it's amazing to me that nobody told them that they're not allowed to say that anymore. Not in woke Hollywood. So
Nope.
that's really interesting that you got these people that think in terms of marketing and branding, and yet they're supposed to be uber woke, and they didn't reconcile that. They just went with marketing and branding.
The branding is it's almost like the branding hasn't caught up yet, meaning that they're still she was still being marketed as 2015 Rebel Wilson. She gets in good shape, and now she has to be her team is not quite caught up to her, and they're still trying to market her as pre Ghostbusters 2016 Hollywood, before everything went super woke. And this is completely different now. Now they don't realize that you can't say that anymore. You can't be Fat Amy. That's not allowed. So.
Well, okay, I just have one complaint. Why is nobody complaining about Jonah Hill losing weight, but they're complaining about Adele and Rebel Wilson losing weight?
It's a double standard.
Exactly. What happened?
We're woke
It's not
here,
a dou-
see?
It's not a double standard. Women are beautiful, men are not.
Oh.
Period.
But come on.
Women are
look
attractive, men aren't. That's all it comes down to.
Attractive men are not even close to as attractive as
Come
like
on,
the average
Thank
looking
you.
woman.
Exactly.
But look at Jonah Hill. He lost a lot of weight.
It's because we can't wear makeup.
Oh.
Also,
Oh, yeah. There was
I mean, we can.
Also,
Yeah,
Jonah
but everyone
Hill.
laughs at us.
Jonah Hill wasn't marketed always as I mean, he was a bigger dude, but he wasn't always playing a fat character per
That's
se.
true. Well,
He's
got
just a
it-
funny guy who happened to be fat.
He got his start in Superbad, which was casting for a fat
Yeah.
Jewish kid.
Well, okay.
That looked like Seth Rogen as
There's
a
a
young kid.
comedian that said, I think it was also David So. Back to
Again,
David So.
standing for David So.
Yeah, but he basically said, like, if a girl puts on makeup, they still look pretty. Without makeup, they're not pretty. But guys, we're just born ugly. We can't fix it.
It's not fixable. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Like you can cover it up a little bit, but in general, you're not going to be able to pull off what a woman can pull off.
That's true.
So the article, it's interesting because it speaks to the cynicism of Hollywood and the cutthroat business aspect of it that they like to hide so well. So it says, Rebel Wilson says she didn't have the full support of those around her when she began her health journey. During a recent interview with the BBC, the 41-year-old actress opened up about some of the negative responses she received at the beginning of her, quote, year of health, mainly due to her career as the, quote, funny fat girl on screen. And then it says, quote, I got a lot of pushback from my own team, actually, here in Hollywood. When I said, okay, I'm going to do this year of health. I feel like I'm really going to physically transform and change my life, Wilson recounted. And they were like, why? Why would you want to do that? Because I was earning millions of dollars being the funny fat girl and being that person, she added. Last year, the Pitch Perfect actress lost nearly 80 pounds. Though Wilson said she was a confident woman and loved herself before losing the weight, she knew deep down inside that her emotional eating habits weren't healthy. This is also interesting because we also hear, these are from, this is People magazine. These are the same people who put out Healthy at Any Size.
Yeah.
and talk about how, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, which is true, but that doesn't make it healthy. And there is a discussion to be had about whether it's just because you want to teach people, train people, you want to encourage people to love themselves, does not mean you encourage them to live unhealthily.
Well, tell that to Tess Holliday. Like, she's promoting people to be morbidly obese, and she's telling them you're beautiful no matter what. Which I agree. If you're comfortable how you are, you can be healthy. Well, not healthy.
They're beautiful.
You can be
but
beautiful.
it doesn't mean they're healthy.
That's true. When your liver is like dying on you,
Yeah.
it's time to lose weight. No offense, women, but
She can say that. Me and Chris cannot.
no, I can't.
No
I'm gonna
comment.
get a lot.
Canceled.
I'm gonna get a lot of backlash. But for me, I'm a curvy girl. Like, I grew up fat. Like, when I was a little kid, like, legit, I was the fat kid. And like, I
You
had
were the Rebel Wilson
I was the Rebel Wilson
of
in
your
like
school.
Well,
Were you funny?
I tried to be, but
Okay. Well,
I
There we
tried to
go.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because but I got bullied by adults in my life saying that I was too fat and I couldn't wear certain clothing.
what they should have been saying, instead of saying that, they should have been doing is encouraging you to make more healthy choices.
Do you want to
right?
hear how my diet was when I was in elementary? Legit in elementary. So I had one apple, one water bottle, and one granola bar for lunch. That's it.
Every day?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was just it's just part of your biology. You were just that way. Did
Yeah.
you eat differently at home?
At home, I tried, like, my grandmother noticed that I was getting bigger, so she, like, tried to make my portion size, like, a little bit smaller. But, like, other than that, like, my weight's been, like, on a yo-yo. Like, those yo-yo diets where, like, one diet doesn't work, and then, like, you try another diet. It kind of works for a bit, and then it stops, and then you have to try a new
Have
one.
you tried keto? Everybody here at this house is on the keto diet.
I'm drinking a keto-friendly energy drink, and I kind of like it. I kind of do, but, like, I'm getting a really bad headache because, like, again, like,
Even I've been doing like just the meat and cheese lately, just because like it's like it'll be late at night and I just don't want to go eat full food. So it's like, and as we know, I have the diet of a 12-year-old.
you do, and I get mad at you. I try to force feed you a carrot once.
Never gonna happen. Celery maybe.
Force feed.
Celery maybe. No carrots.
I'm like, eat the goddamn carrot. But if you do want to try Rebel Wilson's diet, her diet method is called it's MAYR. How do you pronounce that?
What?
MAYR. How do you pronounce that?
Sounds like
Mayer?
Meyer.
Yeah,
Mayer,
so
Meyer?
I thought it was Meyer, but I didn't want to mispronounce it. So it's
I've never heard of this. What does it consist of?
So basically, it started in the 1920s. It's a 14-day program where here's a list of rules what you're supposed to do on this diet. So it's 6 steps. Step 1, chew each bite of food at least 40 to 60 times. And then step 2, eat your biggest meal early in the day. So like breakfast, you have to eat a really big meal. Step 3, stop eating as soon as you start feeling full. Step 4, eat only cooked food after 3 p.m. Step 5, avoid drinking water with these meals. Step 6, stop eating after 7.
It sounds terrible.
That's
Yeah.
awful.
And it's a 14-day program.
But for somebody like me who puts zero thought into what I eat,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do fast food or anything like that. Like I'm not crazy one way or the other, but that seems doable to me. And you know what? This could be totally made up off the top of my head, but I want to say that Kathy Bates did the same diet at a certain point, and
Well,
that's
it
what
did-
caused her to drop all that weight. And I remember her walking through. I don't know if it's Kathy Bates. I'm pretty sure it was. But she walked through every single one of those steps.
Yeah.
And she was just like, that was easy for me.
Yeah, because it's only 14 days and
Yeah.
like the restrictions that the food that you're allowed to eat on this diet. So for fruits, you can eat apples, oranges, bananas, berries, pears, peaches, and plums. And then vegetables, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, and peppers, and then mushrooms. And then protein, what I'm looking at is like salmon, trout, tofu, turkey, lamb, beef, and eggs.
My guess is that it's like very hard to keep the weight off then. Like once you go off
Yeah.
it, then your weight's just you have to have whole lifestyle changes. This
Well,
involves exercise. This involves good sleep schedule, waking up at the same time every day. Like,
Oh, Chris, you're
it's
going to hate
not
this
easy.
diet.
What?
You're going to hate this diet because you have to avoid caffeine.
That's really tough.
Boycott.
That's really tough. Boycott.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have coffee, soda, sports drinks, or energy drinks. So any caffeine-related food or drinks, you're not supposed to have it. And
So
same
the
thing
headaches alone would kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then dairy products, you're supposed to avoid it. And it's similar to keto, where you avoid sugar products and gluten.
I mean, that's probably the biggest part of it there. Just cutting sugar and carbs out of your diet is.
But other than that, like,
Well,
I'm just-
I think the hardest part of it is chewing everything 60 times.
60 times.
I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't that slow down your whole meal?
That's
Yeah.
probably the point.
Well,
honestly.
Exactly.
I
But
was
that's pretty smart. I like that.
I was talking to my boyfriend's mom because like she saw that I was eating really slow. I also had this habit when I was young too, because like before I started eating with my left hand and started chewing my food slower, because it helps like your stomach like digest like your food, because naturally you're supposed to chew it until it's nice and small so your stomach can like
digest
basically-
it better.
Yeah. You're supposed to, but if you eat it like a normal human being, food takes at least 2 days to digest in your stomach.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's meat. That's meat alone.
Wow.
Just saying. I learned this from food theory, but like
We've
other-
become a health podcast in no time. Yeah.
soup.
I do want to. There's one
Yeah.
more part in here that she goes right on about what you were talking about
Yeah.
the double standard. It says, I'll skip over this part. It says Wilson noted she received a lot of attention since making her transformation after previously feeling invisible. It says, quote, "It's fascinating. Why are people so obsessed with women, in particular about their looks?" The actress added, "I know what it's like to be a woman who is essentially invisible to most people because of not being seen as traditionally beautiful or whatever. It's crazy to try and fit that. It's just better to try and be the healthiest version." So I mean, some of that is like you're literally in a visually an industry that's about visuals. Like I
That's
talk
true.
about that all the time. There's a reason comic book characters look the way they do. There's a reason actresses and actors look the way they do. It's a visual medium, whether we like it or not. People don't go to movies, whether men or women. They don't go there to look at average people. You can do that. You can go walk down Main Street and see average people. You go to movies to see a heightened, idealistic version of your society. That's kind of the way the art works. I find that when I watch shows now with more, if it's a movie about everyday people, sure. But if I'm watching a movie about superheroes or FBI agents or spies, I don't want to see spies that look like everybody. Even if it's more realistic, even if actual spies look like normal people, I don't care.
What if they look like Kevin Smith?
I don't want spies that look like Kevin Smith.
Hey,
Damn
he's
it.
dropped a lot of weight too.
He did. He did.
Well, because he was gonna they said he would die if he didn't because
Yeah.
of how bad his health was.
Yeah.
I heard that's. I wonder if
And he
that's
became
why-
a pothead thanks to Seth Rogen.
He became.
He became a pothead. He
Yeah.
didn't smoke prior to Zach and Miri make a porno.
I don't buy that.
That's his claim, man.
Maybe.
I
He never
don't
smoked
know.
pot, and then he
But
started-
also, I think it's funny how this article at the very end, like the other articles that they suggest, is 1,000-Pound Sisters. Have you
See,
seen that show?
There's,
What? No.
There's an obsession about these industry about weight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah, so let me fill you in with that show. So 1,000-Pound Sisters is basically, I forgot what the other sister's name is, but the one of them is named Tammy, and basically she already has she can walk, but her sister, I believe, who's older than her, she's blind, like literally blind in one eye, and one of them is like a lazy eye too, and she can't walk, but Tammy can. And like Tammy's single, but her sister isn't. She's like married. And like they're trying to lose weight,
And
but
they're
they're not over 1,000 pounds. They're combining both their weights, but they're
False
I started to
advertising.
say.
yeah, they combined their weights, because I was like, dude, are they actually 1,000? And in the first episode, they're like, no, they're not 1,000 pounds. We just combined both their weights, because I believe they're over 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Both of them
You
together.
want to talk about exploitative entertainment? Holy crap!
But I was watching the first episode and it made me laugh, because literally Tammy opened a can of whipped cream. Like Tim has done this with his strawberries and berries, where he opens it and sprays it like nonstop, and it made me laugh. I don't know why it made me laugh, but I thought it was so funny. She shouldn't be eating like that, but
Exploitative entertainment,
Yeah.
super exploitative.
Well,
I hope
reality
they're
TV.
paid. I hope they're paid well.
they are paid well.
But in the meantime, they've got agents that are just like, having those conversations, and these poor sisters are just like, I think we need to get healthy, and the agent's just like hell you are.
Yeah.
I need my commission.
Yeah.
So you're gonna
Break
have
out
to
the whipped
stay.
cream.
You're gonna have to stay at that weight.
No, but like legit in the first episode, they try to get they try to get healthy. So like basically both of the sisters were throwing out meat, and like her older sister who can't walk, she was like so upset because like, you know, the long sausage thing where it's like ground beef. She was like, Tammy was like,
I know it well.
Yeah, you can buy this at Walmart somewhere. But Tammy's like, we need to throw this out, and her sister's like, no, can I just hold it? Can I just hold it?
Wow.
Yeah.
So depressing.
It
It's
is.
really
That's
bad.
just depressing to me.
But the dynamics of that that story was
Yeah.
more interesting than I had anticipated.
Yeah, see?
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And I believe like Rebel Wilson is doing something really good for her health, and she looks good how she is now.
But she's genuinely talented too. I mean, like, so the fact that the claim that she is invisible,
yeah, I don't buy that.
I don't buy
That's
that
why I
either.
id
No.
at that. I'm like,
she
you
is
know.
funny, she is talented. There's no way that she's invisible in a crowded room.
Yeah.